Hey, it's Kaylin Angelina. So today I'm super excited because I have something super exciting to announce that I literally never thought I would ever announce. Today's announcement is that I am releasing a poetry book. Here it is. This is the author's copy. It's called If You're Going to Swim, At Least Save the Birds. By the time you see this, it's gonna be out. I'm filming this the day before it comes out. It comes out on May 2nd. I've been writing this book I started getting the idea for the book all the way back in 2020, and then I started actively working on it and writing it not until 2023 fully. And then I finished it in March of this year. This poetry book is pretty much about growing up, childhood, girlhood, and kind of taking those and cherishing those happy moments, even if you didn't have the best childhood or you went through a lot of hardships in your childhood. This poetry book is about loving your inner child, taking care of your younger self, and reminiscing on your younger days, your imagination. I go into like the worlds that I would escape into as a coping mechanism, and I just explore that. It's very nostalgic. I was born in 2000, so this has a lot of like those, I mentioned a lot of like 2000s shows and music, and I just wanted to kind of preserve those happy moments in poetry form. So I kind of want to get into it because I want to explain it a little bit. But if you are not new to my channel, you've watched my videos, you know, like, I'm a very nostalgic person, and I do a lot of collection videos, and I do a lot of pop culture stuff, and this really, like, that really encapsulates, I feel like, this book is all about kind of basking in the things that brought you joy and not being ashamed of any of it. The movies that you watch, the music that you listen to, the TV shows, the people. Another big topic in this book is friendship and friendship loss, of just growing up. You know, you grow up, you have these childhood friends that you think are going to be there forever, and you can't imagine a world where you're not seeing them all the time. And then you guys grow up and things change and you lose touch, and those people are no longer in your life. But even though they're not in your life, they were still such a big part of what made you you. They were still such a big part of those happy moments of childhood, and it's just like kind of a thank you letter to those friends for making such a crazy time in a person's life happier. If you're going to swim, at least save the birds. And I know that can be kind of a confusing title. I don't want to go that much into what I feel like is meaning up behind the title. I do want it to kind of be a thing of like self-interpreting it. But I will say, like, the most basic thing I can like give of what it means is pretty much in the most basic form. It means if you're gonna grow up, at least save those happy memories, because I know what it's like to like be having such a bad youth or just so much stuff going on around you, and as you grow up you kind of want to leave that behind, and I don't feel like that's always the healthiest thing. I think taking care of your inner child, taking care of that your younger self in a way that other people maybe didn't, is important, and letting your younger self know that they are not forgotten and that they are not just a stain on who you are. They are the biggest part of who you are and who you became. So pretty much saying, like, if you're gonna grow up, if you have to grow up, at least save those happy moments and know that those do mean something, and those aren't just moments in the wind that don't matter, because they do, and they make who you are just as much as the bad moments make you who you are. So yeah, the cover was done by my sister, and then the back pictures were done by my niece. Getting into the book a little bit, the book has 3 sections: Chrysanthemum Meadows, Affinities for Her, and I Beg for Neverland. And the book is cut up into like 3 parts. So the first, Chrysanthemum Meadows, that I got the idea, if you ever read the book Chrysanthemum with the little mouse girl, that's where I got the idea for that. That was a book I loved as a kid. And the first part kind of just goes straight into my imagination that I had as a kid, because I think that's such a beautiful thing. I've had so many moments in my adulthood where I'm just like playing with my niece or something, and I just wish I could go back into having the imagination that I had then. But it's just not the same, and it's never gonna be the same because reality hits you. But when you're a kid, it's just like, so for me at least, it was just so easy to escape into these worlds through the games I would play outside with my friends, or the TV shows, or the movies, or the music I would listen to. So the whole thing of Chrysanthemum Meadows, part of the book, is taking you into that world of my imagination and how I kind of romanticized my world as a kid to escape whatever was going on in the reality. And then part 2 is Affinities for Her, and it's pretty much the reality and kind of getting more into like I call it like the realist sort of portion of the book, where I'm kind of just straight up telling you somewhat memories, stories of my youth, talking about friends that I had growing up and how they made me who I am today, or how they affected me, or how the things that we would do together also. So it's kind of like an ease into. So you're still getting some of that imagination and that kind of fairy-like type of like fields and all that beautiful springy stuff throughout the whole book. But Affinities for Her is just a more realist version of it, and kind of take you into like the games I would play with my friends and the things we would do on summer nights, riding around, going on the trampoline, all that. And then part 3 is I Beg for Neverland, and that is kind of the looking back part of the book, where I'm over it. The Affinities for Her, the actual real, my childhood happened, and now I am looking back at it, wanting it back, never thinking that I would ever want anything like that back just because of all the bad parts. But I'm looking at the good parts and being like, if I could go back and leave the bad parts and get to experience these happy moments again just for a second, I would. Like, and I think I say in the book, like, girlhood is everlasting, and I really believe that. It's never too late to have a happy childhood, and I don't have to bask in the bad moments when there's so many beautiful moments that made me who I am. Another thing is, at the end of each poem there is a song, and pretty much the reason I decided to put songs at the end of each poem is because for me, growing up, music was such a big part of my childhood. I feel like music, honestly, in most cases, is a big part of a lot of people's lives in childhood. And I just feel like coming of age through the music I listen to. And I talk about some of the artists in the poem, specifically Taylor Swift, if you know anything about me. And I kind of get into why I have that connection with her and why I love her so much. So at the end of each poem is a song by different artists, and either the songs are songs that they all relate to the poem. So I say it's just like if you want to expand on the sentiment in the poem through sound and other people's lyrics, I feel like that's what each song is. It's kind of getting more into the poem and expanding on the idea that I had of the poem while I was writing the poem. It's also getting a glimpse into what girlhood and childhood was to me, because there's a lot of songs on here that are from when I was a kid. This book takes place between the ages of 3 and 10. I try to stay in that range. I didn't really want to go into my middle school years because those were so drastically different from my elementary years, and it's still something that like I don't feel too far removed from yet, to try to find the moments that I still want to sit in from that. But from my youth, from my elementary years, I can. So a lot of these songs are songs that I was listening to as a 8-year-old, 9-year-old, 10-year-old. But some of them are also just more recent songs that I listen to and I'm like, oh my god, that reminds me of that little girl, of little Kaylin. So it's just a way to expand on it and on the poem, and to get a little bit more of a glimpse into the story and the world that I am trying to create through this poetry book. Really hope you guys like it. I hope, trust me, if you are someone who is trying to heal your inner child, or is very into that healing of the inner child, or you're someone who is super nostalgic, especially for the early 2000s, I highly recommend my book. Sorry this video is kind of awkward. I just don't know what to say. Like, I'm not good at like self-promoting, like, but I will try to have all the information below. I have a website for the book, and you can go on there and you can ask me questions, and if you'd like, and yeah, after this I'm probably gonna get back to the regularly scheduled programming of showing you collections, talking about stuff. So I promise I'm not gonna dwell on this book, but I would love if you check it out if you have any inkling of wanting to look back at childhood. Or my mom said that reading this book brought back memories that she had thought she had forgotten, which made me feel so happy, because that's exactly what I wanted. Because I think sometimes people can look back and they only remember the traumatizing parts, but it's like those happy moments, those tiny happy moments, which is what I mean by save the birds. Save the little happy moments. If you're gonna leave the past behind, at least save those little those little moments. So yeah, and the back says, to you I leave my empire of girlhood, it's yours to keep. Because this was a very vulnerable endeavor, because this is somewhat of like a biography, and I would never have thought that my first poetry collection would be biographical in any sense. I kind of actually started writing this book fully of kind of an imaginary world, staying in that, and then it became, as I went through things in the past couple of years, loss and losing people, my family, it just became very, I wanted it back. I wanted, good or bad, I just wanted the moments where those people were here back. And so that kind of made me reflect on like, if I want this so bad that I'm willing to go back, maybe there is something good in my past that I need to figure out. So yeah, I'm rambling now because I just really want people to know kind of what my intentions are with this book, and my mission statement is. And this might only get like 5 views, but if only 3 people buy this book, it doesn't matter, because I'm just so happy I did this. I've been writing since I was a little kid. I used to scribble down songs. I would try to write songs when I was a little kid. So if my younger self knew that I, at 24 years old, was gonna have a whole book dedicated to her and the life she was living, I don't think I would have. Well, maybe I would have believed in myself because I was a big dreamer as a kid, but it's just crazy. So, yeah, that's it. I hope you guys check it out. I'll have information about it below, the website, the link to order it, and yeah, I'm really scared. I'm really scared, but it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay, even if no one buys this book. Stick around, and I will see you guys next time when we're back to our regularly scheduled videos. Not regularly scheduled, but regular videos. Bye!